Hello everyone, welcome to the Spotlight. I'm not going to make a video today. But I had to just say 5 minutes word on that absolute disgrace of a performance we've just witnessed. Look, I was saying to me mate in the first half, we're just a nothing team, aren't we? We're just average. He said he was bored of watching us. He's sick of this. The first time he's ever really thought that he's never wanted to watch Man United. He don't want to watch him. It's boring. And he's absolutely right. I mean, the first half, I know we went a goal behind, I think, in the first half, but it was just so boring, aren't we? So average. And I know I'm not particularly talking about this performance, I'm talking about the team in general, but we're just so turgid, so bad to watch, so poor at the basics. And everyone will probably be going in on Amorim and the whole Rashford thing and why is he not picking him? And I've not said a lot about Rashford, but if you've ever watched my channel before, you know my opinion. It's not a good one of him. But it's not really about Rashford today. It's about the rest of the team and just how poor we are as a side. And people be saying, again, won't they, it's not the manager, Ten Hag, this, it's Amorim's coming to a mountain. And I'm afraid Ten Hag made wrong choices. And you could argue today, for example, if you want to go on to today's game a bit, taking Agate off, and I think he was on a booking, and putting Bruno back into the 6-8 role was a disaster. We was obviously already losing. And if you want to call Bruno our most creative player, you're taking him off and putting him into the 6 or the 8 role with Mainu. And as good as Mainu might be technically on the ball, I've said it loads of times, he's not got the physicality and the running strength to make it as a 6 or an 8 in the Premier League. Especially not in a side like ours, where we get run over and we've got no athleticism at all. I've said it before. Well, 1 minute we're up here saying Agate is amazing. The next minute, he's doing a job for us in there, running around and tackling. But the reality of it is, he's not good enough either. And he probably was our best player today, and he's been took off. But you need more than someone who runs around in midfield and works hard and tackles. I'm afraid it's just the way it is. And Bruno Fernandes again, and I made a whole video, so I'm not going to go on it but go watch my other video on the channel about why I don't think we're a better side with Bruno Fernandes in it. And I went on to say one game against Crystal Palace where we lost 4-0 is not a sample size. Because we've had, I think, something like 33-0 plus losses with Bruno in the team. And today is another one where he's the captain of the side. He's all over the place. He's hitting long balls. He's passing. Short passing and set pieces are absolutely atrocious. He's supposed to be the guy on the pitch setting the standard. And if he is setting the standard at that, there's a reason why we're 13th in the league. Because if that is the standard you're trying to get to, then I'm afraid we're finished. And I don't want to take it all out on Bruno again, because the whole team were terrible today. But again, he's the captain of the side. Now, I think for 2 or 3 years, he's been the captain. And we have been the worst we've been in as long as I can remember in my entire life, pretty much. At least under Ollie, we played exciting football. And I know we got drubbed with Ollie sometimes, and I'm not looking back and saying the Ollie era was better, because it wasn't, but at least we had summits about us and we could go score goals and stuff with Ollie. But at the minute, we are a disaster, just of pure bang average players who are paid way too much money. And Bruno is the epitome of that. The captain, the pettiness, the lack of discipline. And I don't mean discipline about him screaming and shouting and moaning at the ref and tackling. I mean his discipline of basic football skill. His level, his 5-10 yard passes are poor. And when you're the captain setting the standard and every other player on the pitch sees him spin that sloppy from the get-go and then losing it and going long ball, and where else would you think we're going? So we went back to a midfield at 1-0 down of Mainu, who's not a runner, and Bruno Fernandes, who's not a 6. And you wonder why after that we're wide open and they score 2 more goals. I mean, I think it's a mistake by Amorim. And I am hugely on Amorim's side. I've said it before. I'm giving him a free pass until at least the middle of next season because he's working with a team he didn't buy. And I've been extremely critical of the players that Ten Hag's bought. So until he's had a couple of winders, I'm not even criticising Amorim because I think he knows and he's learned very quickly that this squad is nowhere near good enough. And I don't know really what else to say. I don't even know whether to blame the players. The players have been brought in by the past recruitment team, managers and CEOs and structure and whatever, and they are paid like they're playing for Man City and Liverpool and winning trophies at the highest level, and they are performing like they're a middle-of-the-road Premier League team, which is exactly what we are. We have been outclassed at home to Bournemouth. And there's nothing I can say about it, to be perfectly honest. It's just so poor. Mazwari hasn't been great the last couple of games. Stupid diving in for that penalty. And once the penalty's gone in, the game's over. It was a stupid decision to make that challenge. It was 1,000% a pen. And then the third goal split our defence with one pass, and the usual suspect we concede to, the old pullback from the edge of from the byline backwards, and we're just about 5 or 6 players marking no one in the box, and he taps it in. And the first one again is another set piece. I saw a stat: only Wolves have conceded more goals than us from set pieces. Malassi was really poor, I thought, in that first half, giving away stupid free kicks. It obviously led to the goal. Just sloppy. And that's all I can say about it, really. It's like turning up on a Sunday morning, like I feel now, hungover, and just getting through the game and going home. That's what it's like. They're so bang average. And what's really worrying is they're so bang average at the basics. Forget about the moments Bruno Fernandes can have, or any of the other players, not just Bruno, but Bruno's obviously prime example. He can do a wonderful thing. But every other thing he does that's a basic is just so sloppy, so poor. And we have to get the basics right before you can move on to anything else. And like I've said before, this is more evidence we are not a better side with Bruno Fernandes in it. We're the same with him or without him. So whether you think he's burnt out and needs a rest, whether you think he's not good enough, whether you think he's amazing, the guy needs to be left out of the team for a couple of games. 1, to rest him. 2, to see if we change without him. And until that happens, we're going nowhere. I've said it on my previous videos about him. Amorim clearly rates him because he's got energy, and I don't think he rates him for anything else. He can't keep a lockdown on a 10 or a 6 or an 8. He's getting swapped between them both. Apparently he's the most creative player in the Premier League. He's the greatest assister we've ever had, whatever. The guy's supposed to be the most creative person in the Premier League, and he can't hold down a 10 position at Man United. He's just not that good. And the sooner we realise it, the better. And it's the same with Rashford. It's probably the same with Garnacho. It's probably the same with Mainu. And we all say they're young, give them time, all that lot. But if they aren't ready, don't play them. It's like everyone was crying out for Amas to play left back, left wing back. Amorim clearly don't think he's good enough, or he'd be playing, because we ain't got a frigging left wing back. So do the same with Maino and Garnacho, and I know to some extent he has done with Garnacho, leaving him out the side, leaving him out the squad for City. But the problem is, as well, and this is probably something that's happened since Amorim's come, because the end of the Ten Hag era and when Ruud was in charge, we were keeping clean sheets and nicking games. The problem we've had under Amorim, and this is a criticism of Amorim and potentially the system, is we go behind too often. And before we've even got a foothold in the game, we're chasing it. And then we become erratic, especially if we're still losing going into the second half. We're chasing games all the time. And you cannot consistently win games when you're consistently conceding the first goal and chasing the game. We've got to stop conceding first. Even if we bore the other team to death, a bit like we did against Arsenal for the first half, then have a go in the second half, we've just got to stop conceding goals. It's always straight after half time as well, isn't it? Like a couple of early goals first, second half today. You know, the other day, straight after half time again. It's like, I don't know what's going on with us restarting second halves, but the head's not screwed on, obviously, with the players. And I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just one of them games, isn't it? It's just an absolute just disaster, especially with the fixtures we've got coming up. I mean, we've got Wolves on Boxing Day on Wednesday, I think it is. Let me have a look at the other fixtures, because we are struggling for points now. I can tell you that. Let me have a look at Man United's fixtures. We've got Wolves on the 26th away. Wolves have just got a new manager. They've won 3-0 today, and I know it's only versus Leicester, but they've convincingly beat Leicester today. They're probably going to have a new manager bounce. It's not a good time to play Wolves. Let's have a look. Then we have Newcastle on the 30th. And Newcastle are banging form. Obviously, it's at home, so it gives us a little bit of advantage. But Newcastle have got all their players back. Tonali was class yesterday. You know, Isaac's scoring a hat-trick. Even Murphy in that lot. And I know they were playing a poor Ipswich side again. But Newcastle are bang on it at the minute. I mean, let's have a look at their current form quickly. So I'm doing it on my app on my phone. It's the quickest way for me to get it up right at this moment in time. So like I say, I'm not prepared for this video whatsoever. Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, they've won the last 3 in a row. Lost to Brentford and drew versus Liverpool before that. So they're on good form, Newcastle. Very tough game. Straight after 2 tough games straight after Christmas. Wolves with a new manager. Newcastle, and then into the 1st of January. First game we've got is Liverpool, I believe. Yeah, Liverpool. What date's that game? It's just saying 2025, so it must be the 2nd of January, I think, or 1st of January. We've got Liverpool. So, I mean, and then after that, we've got Arsenal in the FA Cup. And then we've got Southampton at home. So we could go, what, till the middle of January probably and not win another game. Wolves, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, and then Southampton. I mean, out of the Wolves, Newcastle, Liverpool games in the Premier League, how many points do you think we're going to get? I'm going to say at the very best is 4. We beat Wolves, draw with Newcastle, lose to Liverpool. Because Liverpool's away as well. So it's I think it's very unlikely we go to Anfield and get anything at the minute. So let's say on a hopeful day we beat Wolves. So three or 4 points from the next 12. We're currently 13th still. 6 points off top 6 and 9 points off top 4. And we can conceivably get none or 3 points in the next 3 games. Don't know. What do you think? Wolves, Newcastle, Liverpool. Where are we going from there? To me, it's 3 points at best. I can't see us beating Newcastle or Liverpool at the minute. Wolves, like I say, should be winning it at home, but they've got a new manager and they're on a new manager bounce. Not a good time to play him. Kuna's back in the side. They've got Strand Larsen. You know, they've got some dangerous players. I think we've looked like we do miss De Ligt. To be fair, I've been saying to me mates, De Ligt has been underrated for us and he's not played in the last couple of games. And we've not looked defensively sure, especially today. But yeah, that's my take on the game and a bit of a look ahead over the Christmas period because I probably won't be making any videos over the Christmas period. Wolves, I'm going to say win versus Wolves, and I'm going to say at best a draw versus Newcastle and a loss versus Liverpool. And I mean, if we lose them 3 games or get 1 win out the 3 and then we go and lose to Arsenal in the FA Cup, we're out of both cups. We'll be 13th, 14th, 15th in the league. I mean, is it conceivable to say we're in a relegation battle at that point? We're into January in 14th or 15th place. I mean, how far are we off the relegation zone? Let me have a look. 10 points above relegation at the minute. So, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to get relegated. That's ridiculous. We won't. But we're looking closer behind us than we are in front of us until the middle of January for certain. Until that Southampton game. Southampton have obviously got a new manager as well. I don't know what their result was this weekend. Let me have a look. I assume they probably lost. Results for Southampton. Liverpool? No. Oh, they got hammered by Spurs, didn't they, in the week? I don't think they've played yet, have they? Southampton. But you'd expect to speak Southampton, but I'm waffling now. I am going now nearly 20 minutes into the video and like I'm not even really ranting. I'm just talking about the game because I don't really think there's anything else to say apart from Amarin's got a lot on his plate, but I think we need to defend him. He's only got a 2-year contract. If he's got to turn this club around in the summer with his own transfers. But between now and the summer, I think he's just got to do our best to get into winning the Europa League. Right at this moment in time, you may as well write off getting top 4 or top 6 and just completely focus on the Europa League. We need the Champions League money. We'll probably go into the Champions League and be a laughing stock like we was a year or 2 ago. But the money is what matters more than the performance in there at the minute because we need it to rebuild. And Amarin, Ineos have got to be ruthless with these players. If their target is 2028, like they said, like Barada said, then I'm afraid probably nearly all of this squad need to go. I think you probably got Mazwari, Ahmad, and maybe De Ligt, who are good enough to play in a squad that can win a league or a Champions League. The rest of them are nowhere near it. Absolutely miles off. And I'm pushing at them 3. There won't be guaranteed starters probably in a City team or a Liverpool team or whatever. They'd just be in and around the squad playing regular. So I am going now. Like, favourite, subscribe the video if you have been watching or would like to see more content and reactions, and it's just my honest opinion on this. I just enjoy making the videos. I don't get paid for it, nothing. Just like to put my opinion out there after games and opinion on what's going on with United. So yeah, do me a favour, hit the like and the favourite and subscribe so I can do more live streams, especially when I'm out and about. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.